All right, everyone. So we are back with another versus battle. If you tuned in last week or the week before that, we did a versus battle where we started up this new series where I'm going to be doing 1v1, 1v1v1, clones versus the originals, stuff like that. And last week we started it out with the battle of the big blues. So it was Sauvage Eau de Parfum versus YSL Eau de Parfum versus Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. I let you know a little bit about each fragrance, and then I rank them based on an unbiased perspective and then also based on my personal opinion. That's what we're going to be doing again today with week 2. And with week 2, we're going to be doing, since it's summer, the battle of the high heat fragrances. Starting out with one that came out last year, Terre Eau Givree, against one that I've been wearing a ton lately, Dior Homme Cologne, mixed with one that everybody knows, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. So I'm going to do a little bit of a review of all three of them, let you guys know what my unbiased and biased opinions are. And so that's what we're doing today. So without further ado, let's get it. Alright, my great smelling dudes, welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, right back with you doing another versus battle. Prepare for battle. So, what's my versus battles all about? It is what it is. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm doing fragrances versus other fragrances. Duh. So, today, they are going to be Terre Eau Givree versus Dior Homme Cologne versus Light Blue Eau Intense. Not necessarily. I could have done like the battle of the colognes, Mercedes-Benz cologne, but it was discontinued. YSL Eau Fraiche, those type of fragrances. And maybe I will maybe next summer. But I didn't really want to do that because I don't know. I did something similar to that earlier in the year. But with that said, these are some of the heaviest hitting, most popular fragrances as of right now in 2023 for the high heat. All of them are activated by the heat type of fragrance. I found that out about Terre Eau Givree a few weeks back when I was wearing it, that it was actually activating in the heat. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense is known to be the activated in the heat. I love wearing that fragrance with a layering combination of that and Tommy Bahama Set Sail St. Bart's. Smells like a citrus mojito, but I don't really talk about it that much by itself. With that said, how does it stack up to the other two heavy hitters? The new favorite that a lot of people are talking about, the heavy cologne that everybody loves to wear in the high heat. Well, a lot of people. Some people just don't like Dior. Or do we do the citrus aromatic marine fragrance? That's what we're going to start out with. Dolce & Gabbana, the one that most people talk about, Light Blue Eau Intense. Most people talk about it as the most popular and the best one in the line. I know some people love the Italian Love from last year, which I despise. Light Blue Summer Vibes from this year, really nice. You mix this together with some Dusty Woods. That's pretty much what you have with Summer Vibes. I'm glad they went back to the new DNA, but I kind of want them to switch it up next year. With that said, there's other good ones in the line, but for me, my favorite was this one, Love is Love and Light Blue Sun, which I think is super underrated, but this one still is my favorite. What is it? Citrus aromatic marine. It starts out with that grapefruit, but not the rinded grapefruit that you get from the last 2 years of releases, where it smells almost like a candied grapefruit. This is kind of more of your sparkling, effervescent citrus grapefruit. That is kind of more of your zesty and, again, bright grapefruit. Mix that together with a little bit of mandarin orange, some C notes, and then you have a little undertone of an amber wood in the opening, but that's pretty much neither here or there until you get to the dry down. It's more of just a citrus aromatic, slight marine fragrance, and that's all you pretty much need to know. The fragrance is super mass appealing. If there was a mass appealing meter for the summer as compared to all fragrances, this would be the mass appeal #1 monster. No matter what, it would kick the shit out of both Eau Givree and Dior Homme Cologne in mass appeal summer only. If we're talking about spring, fall, winter, this isn't really going to do much as far as kicking out to people and saying, hey, this is huge mass appeal. This feels and smells like a summer high heat fragrance. Get away with it in the spring, but outside of that, unless you're one of those one fragrance kind of guys, it's not going to be for you. This fragrance, as far as the performance though, is going to be around the 6-hour mark. It starts to die down after about hour 3, and then it's a skin scent, but it stays as a skin scent for the next 3 hours. So the first 3 hours are really where you're looking at it as being the fragrance that's pushing out, because it is in the heat, and when you're in the heat, they dissipate off your skin faster. I have noticed that if you spray this together with Tommy Bahama Set Sail St. Bart's, you get about an extra hour. It doesn't make any sense, I understand that, but I also like to spray this with a little bit of ISO E Super to make it last even longer and project even more, because again, I'm wearing it in high heat situations. But citrus, aromatic, marine, has a little bit of warmth when you get to the dry down, a little bit of a green feeling to it, but for the most part, you get that citrus, that grapefruit, that orange mixture. You get some musk undertoning the fragrance, coming up a little bit more as that amberwood dries, as it dries down and gets that amberwood pulling in. Fantastic fragrance all around. It is just high heat galore. Fantastic. I mean, that's what this fragrance versus battle is about, isn't it? Going into the second one. This one I have been wearing so much that I bought this bottle 2 weeks ago, and you can already see it's missing some. This is Dior Homme Cologne. This is one of those fragrances that if you can find a 200 milliliter or 150 milliliter, get it, because you're going to be overspraying this like a mullafalla. This one is, if you're looking for a high heat fragrance that also garners a little bit of class, that comes with a little bit of class with it. It's a little bit more of like a business casual high heat fragrance, even though you can wear this in any situation. When it says cologne, this is kind of like the king of cologne style fragrances, in my opinion. Citrus, musk. It also has a little tiny bit of powder like that Dior Homme DNA underneath it, as well as a slight little bit of spice and a slight little bit of this white floral. But for the most part, it is just a heavy bergamot, a little bit of this kind of like, I think it's like orange blossom or grapefruit blossom, something like that. Comes through and provides a little bit of this sweet white floral, but overall citrus and musk. I don't want to confuse you guys. It's citrus, musk with a little bit of a spice and powder undertone and a white floral undertone as well. That comes more in the mid. The rest of the fragrance is just more citrus and musky. Fantastic. It's just fantastic. I like this, the newer version. The 2017 version does not do it for me. I actually don't like the 2017 version. So let me know if you guys in the chat, which one do you prefer? The 2017 version of the cologne or the 2021 version of the cologne? This one to me is just a lot more citrus. Doesn't have that old Dior Homme DNA that a lot of people seem to like, that Iris DNA. I don't know if that was in the 2017 version. I'm pretty sure it was. But this one, it's more just very focused on citruses and musk, and it only lasts about 3 to 4 hours. It's nothing crazy, but it is a cologne fragrance. Again, spray it with some ISO E Super or whatever you want to do, and it'll last. But for these type of fragrances, they're high heat fragrances. You can respray them, which is why I'm missing a lot, just in 2 weeks. You can respray them, or you can just go on and try another cologne out. That's what I do. I wear usually 3 colognes during the summer, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. So going into the third one now. This one is the newest of the bunch. This is going to be the least mass appealing of the bunch. I have found that out, that not everybody likes this smell. So beware of that. If you have a wife or a girlfriend that you're trying to impress and you want a high heat fragrance and you like it, but you also want them to like it, make sure that they try it before you buy it, because it is Terre and it's gonna cost you around $100 unless you get it on Joma Shop. I'll put those links in the description, obviously. This is Terre Eau Givree. Eau Givree, what is it? It takes that Terre line, which I don't like, which is more of your woods and mineral notes. And then it adds a little bit of citrus in a lot of the different ones. Like last year, or not last year, the one before this, Eau Tres Fresh, that was discontinued. It was a fantastic citrus opening mixed with the DNA. It got so floral in the dry down, too much of a white floral as that citrus dissipated, that I just didn't love it. I know a lot of people like it, and again, I really like the opening. I just don't like florals. This one is heavy citron. Citron is kind of like a rinded grapefruit mixed with lemon. It kind of comes off that way to me. It's not as rindy of a grapefruit as what you'd get in light blue Forever, light blue Italian Love. It kind of comes off just like zesty but rindy grapefruit. Mix that together with the Terre line, so you still get that kind of a little bit of spice, a little bit of warmth, but mostly the woods and mineral notes. It's definitely mineralic. It's definitely woody, especially when you get further into the dry down. But what I love about this is that citron note. That citron note stays there for 4 hours. I mean, it's there, and it's unlike most citruses that dissipate pretty quickly. This one does not. You do get some musk in here, but this, it kind of, we were just reviewing them in order of kind of class. This one is more playful, one that you can wear in any situation. This one, still any situation, but it gets a little bit more to that business casual. This one actually feels business casual to formal to me. If you're going to like a wedding or something, this would be a great fragrance, although all three of these would. If you're looking for like a higher class style fragrance that still maintains that super high heat freshness, Terre Eau Givree is definitely going to do that, while also being a very nice performer. While this one is going to still be around the average of this, I still get about 6.5 to 7 hours from Eau Givree, which is great for this style of fragrance. After 4 hours, it is more woods and a little bit of mineral qualities. Has some musk in there, but again, for that first 4 hours, it's citron dominated, and I love it. As far as ranking, so now we'll get into that. So, unbiased. How would I say if we took 100 random people, not fragrance community people, if we took 100 random people and said, try these out, which one would you rank 1, 2, and 3? I would say that it would probably be the exact same as me, which would be number 3, number 2, and number 1. And Terre Eau Givree, while I still really like it, I find it more situational than the other two. I find it that I can only wear it in specific situations during the summer, which is why you don't see too much missing from it. I still love to wear it, but if you would ask the general population, this one doesn't have that heavy mass appeal that the other two do. I could 100% interchange either of these for my personal opinion, but because this has been my staple in my collection for so long, it has to beat out Dior Homme Cologne. Even though I love Dior Homme Cologne, this one is just a lot more mass appealing. My wife loves it. I love layering it. I wear it so much. I have 2 bottles, and it's the only fragrance other than Spice Bomb Infrared, which was an accident, that I have 2 bottles of. But Dior Homme Cologne, I could personally switch either one and be happy with number 1. But I do know Terre Eau Givree, both unbiased and unbiased, would be number 3, just because. If we were going to ask the fragrance community right now, I would probably say it would go probably 1, 2, no. Yeah, I would say the same. I still think that Terre Eau Givree, if you still asked 100 people in the fragrance community, depends on the 100 that you asked, but Terre Eau Givree could be up 1. But I still think that this would still be number 1 for everybody. That's just my opinion. Not everybody, obviously, but like the majority of people. But yeah, that's my versus battle today. You can't go wrong with any of those 3. Those 3, it just pick your taste. You can test these 2 out at pretty much any store. Eau Givree is a harder one to find. It's mostly Nordstrom's and specific Macy's and specific Sephora's. But in my area, I have to drive an hour and a half just to test it. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Let me know in the comments which one you would choose from these 3. And again, I'll be back with another versus battle next week. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.